The relationship patterns that slowly break a woman. Not every woman breaks because of one big heartbreak. Sometimes she breaks slowly, quietly, through repeated patterns that slowly drain her emotionally over time. The inconsistency, the emotional neglect, the constant disappointment, the feeling of always giving more than receiving, and the painful part is many women stay because they keep hoping things will eventually change until one day they realize they no longer feel like themselves anymore. The pattern of inconsistency. One relationship pattern that slowly breaks people emotionally is inconsistency. One day you feel loved, the next day you feel emotionally invisible. Some days the effort is there, other days you feel like you are asking for too much just for wanting basic communication or affection. And over time, this creates emotional anxiety because you never fully know where you stand. You start overthinking small things. An unanswered message changes your mood. A cold tone makes your heart anxious. And little by little, you stop feeling emotionally safe. Healthy love should not constantly leave you confused about whether you matter. The patterns of always overgiving. Another thing that slowly breaks many women is constantly being the one carrying the emotional weight of the relationship. You are the one checking in, fixing problems, starting conversations, trying to reconnect after emotional distance, trying to keep everything together. And after a while, love starts feeling more like emotional work than emotional peace. Some people become so used to overgiving that they stop noticing how emotionally drained they really are. They convince themselves, if I just try harder, maybe things will improve. But the relationship becomes exhausting when only one person is fighting for connection consistently. The pattern of silencing your own feelings. Another painful pattern is constantly staying quiet about what hurts you. Maybe to avoid arguments, maybe to avoid being called difficult, maybe because every time you are trying to express yourself, you felt dismissed. So eventually, you stop speaking honestly. You say, it's fine, even when it's not. You start minimizing your own pain, and that silence becomes dangerous emotionally. Because the more you ignore your own emotional needs, the more disconnected you become from yourself. Some women lose themselves quietly, trying to keep relationships peaceful. The pattern of holding on to potential. One of the hardest relationship patterns to let go of is falling in love with the potential instead of reality. You keep focusing on who the person could become, the good moments, the sweet version of them, the promises, the hope, and because you have been glimpses of love, you keep waiting for consistency to finally arrive. But the potential can keep people emotionally trapped for years. Because every small improvement feels like a proof that things are changing, even when unhealthy pattern keeps repeating itself. The real damage these patterns causes. The saddest thing about emotional draining relationships is that they slowly change how a person sees themselves. You become emotionally tired, less expensive, less hopeful. You stop expecting much because disappointment starts feeling normal. And eventually, you realize the relationship didn't break you all at once. It slowly drained you through repeated emotional pain, through inconsistency, through overgiving, through silence, through constantly surviving on crumbs of love instead of feeling emotionally secure. If a relationship constantly leaves you emotionally anxious, exhausted, lonely, or unseen, pay attention to that. Because healthy love should not slowly destroy your peace. Real love is not perfect, but it should feel emotionally safe overall. And one of the most important things you can do for yourself is to stop normalizing patterns that quietly breaks your spirit, because you deserve a love that pours into you too, not one that slowly empties you.